Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is Stacy. In this video, we are going to review our first of our weekly bid alerts. And the opportunity in this case is for contractors in California. So, one of the questions I get all the time, Stacy, why don't you just put everything, all of your estimating videos on YouTube? And the simple answer is well, because there's a huge difference, okay, between learning about estimating and becoming a professional estimator. And I'm a professional estimator, and it's taken many years. So my YouTube channel really is designed to help you get started. You'll learn how to read the plans, you'll learn estimating concepts, you'll learn industry terminology. You can watch some project reviews and you'll see portions of real takeoffs. Okay, I want everyone that interested to have access to quality construction education. And what the difference is, and this is what you don't see on YouTube. When I'm preparing a real estimate, I'm spending hours. I have a thinking process. I talk to myself. Sometimes it's days. Okay, working through the drawings, the specifications, you know, counting every device and making a system where I have to go over and over just in case I miss something. Okay, especially when we're talking about electrical. We're talking about every foot of conduit, checking the labor. That's very important. And pricing it, reviewing the addendums when they come in, and what do we do when they come in after we've produced the estimate. So these are all the things that I provide for all of my members. But here on YouTube, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of each of the projects, and the members will have full access to the full reviews, the full thinking process, the full man-hour calculations, and especially when we have tenant improvements, the thinking process through productivity factors. So right now, let's talk about project number one of the week. And if you're interested, make sure to sign up, like, subscribe. I have very reasonable membership prices based on my level of knowledge and how much of it I give to you. And so our first project this week, and here on YouTube, I'm not going to give specific names of the corporation, right? I'm just going to tell you the type of building and you can look for yourself and see. Okay, so in this first example of three that we have this week, this is an office building and it's a tenant improvement. Okay, so when you get tenant improvements, you should always be thinking productivity factors. Okay, because the difference between a tenant improvement and something from the ground up, you don't have restrictions when it's from the ground up. In tenant improvements, especially with the MEPs. And I want to let you know I will focus on mechanical, electrical, and plumbing for all of my private videos because those are the questions I get asked the most. So, when we talk about tenant improvements, you should already have in the back of your mind there are going to be a number of productivity, I can't talk, productivity factors that will apply to this work. It just will be, because anytime you have an access issue, and with tenant improvements, you're going to, the HVAC professional has to get up above the ceiling that no one's been up there in 10, 15, 30 years. Who knows? Things have been moved. They're never the same. They're not the same as you would see on the plans. I'm almost certain if it's an improvement, unless it's a high level firm that does this a lot because they know what's going to cost them money. And what costs you money is a lack of detail. So if you're not provided with a walkthrough, you want to have the ability to determine where to impose those productivity factors. Okay, and again, this is a basic overview, but my students and members will have access to all of the details. So let me just go into what we have here. So this is an office building where we're doing some demolition. I'm trying to be fancy. And we know if we're demo professionals what the symbols mean and what we're doing. Okay. And so you always want to look through the notes. And we know the thing about demo is everything is vague. And that's where you have to, I mean, now with AI, you could just ask it, okay? But years of experience will show you, and years of messing up will show you too. So you want to make sure you go through all of the plans and the specifications for everything, and it will give you all the detail you need. Now, you're going to have general notes, which is what this is, most likely, if there are no call out numbers on the plans. So the general notes are just that, they're general. They may apply, they may not apply. But this is where you lose your money. Okay. Demolition is labor intensive. And so if you don't know where to apply more than you should, then you end up with a whole bunch of change orders. And that's what I try to help you prevent. Okay. Is preventing change orders because they don't like that. Once that you sign a contract for a certain amount, well, they expect it to be that amount and maybe not much more. But there have been instances where in the past, some of the change orders were up to 75% of the contract. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing. And you're top heavy with it because you want to show the GC, hey, look, instead of giving you after the fact 10,000 change orders, I'm going to show you line by line. I'm going to indicate all my productivity issues that are related to this tenant improvement. And again, it's always related to tenant improvements. And so if you're doing a tenant improvement and if you are a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, I almost assure you, you've been ripping yourself off. All right. So tenant improvements and demo, that's the worst because they'll just give you some arrows and tell you to demo stuff and you don't really know what's there. And details important when you're going to do the estimate. So this is a very simple plan. We did some bathroom stuff and it looks like they're doing some other stuff here. So this is the floor plan. So this is all the new walls that are coming about the floor. Easy. This is easy. You know, when they're this easy, most big companies won't even bid on this, right? Because it's too easy. We won't make enough money to cover the truck we got to drive to get over there. Okay, so if you're a smaller self performer, these are the kinds you'll walk away with. And you can walk away with a lot of them because what don't you have self performer that big companies with all that workers comp and all those trucks and all those people have? They have overhead up the yin yang. You don't. And I always try to make my self performing people think all that labor is yours, right? You're doing the labor. So make your profit, your percentage reasonable, and you'll win every time, especially if you know how to complete an accurate takeoff. And, you know, I don't want a doctor that doesn't know how long it should take to doctor me. Same thing with construction. I don't want a contractor that doesn't know how long it's supposed to take him or her to install 1 square foot of linear or wall. 1 square foot of wall can't be linear and square foot at the same time. That's why man hours are important. Man hours either makes you or break you. Either you make a profit or you're paying to do this job. And so the one thing you should absolutely do if you're a contractor is first try to secure an estimator that knows what they're doing. And two, was that two or did one, two, labor. You have to have an accurate way to determine your labor, no matter what it is. Whether you're installing a window, 1 linear feet of conduit, 1 brick paver, uh, whatever, a fabricated metal. How do you determine labor rates for fabricated metals? Oh, I know how. but you need to know how to. And HVAC professional, are you really including all of the labor that's including for of the 90s 45s, all of the reducers, all of those things? Are you really doing that? Because if you are, it should be shown line item on your estimate, and that's what I show you how to do. So a lot there, and I'm only on the floor plan. What's the reflective ceiling plan? It reflects everything that's in the ceiling. What's reflecting? Showing. What's a mirror do? It shows your reflection. Well, that's what the reflected ceiling plan does. It shows you everything in the ceiling, and it's for the finished professional, right? Because if I'm doing the ACT or painting the gyp, I need that view so I can determine square feet. I need to know what's existing that I don't have to paint or whatever. And also, why do we have the reflective ceiling plan? Because it's for the finished trades, but it's also for anybody else that needs to know how many of something is in the ceiling. So, for instance, the ACT professional will know how fewer or how less, how many less 2 by 4 tiles or 2 by 2 tiles he'll need because of the number of lights that's going in there or the number of return or supply grills. So they know, for instance, this room alone, if it's 2 by 2, then we know that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2 by 2 less tiles in office 107. And so that's why we use the reflective ceiling plan. Or the painter sees this symbol, or the framer sees this symbol. They know, oh, I have to install and I have to paint. If I'm the painter, I have to paint. If I'm the framer, I have to install a gypsum ceiling. And the reflective ceiling plan is supposed to do 2 things, which this one doesn't do. And just know that. Anybody new? The reflective ceiling plan is supposed to give you the finish type. So I know because I've looked at this forever. And just by looking at this, I'm assuming the gray parts are new and everything else is existing. I don't know. And the lights may be new because they're telling me what they are. So I have to look at the lighting plan just to see if I have a new lighting plan for, yeah. See, normally in a set of plans, they don't name a thing unless it's new. So this lets me know all of these are new because they're naming them. They're 2 by 4 light F2. And this is a junction box, and this is a motorized switch of some kind or a fan. It really depends on the engineer, in this case the electrical engineer, how they're representing their symbols, because it could be something totally different than what you're used to seeing for 16 years or 5 years or 10 years. That's why it's good to always review the all of the symbols, no matter what they are. Okay, and so this is a very simple office, but usually what's not simple are all of the MEPs. So let's see what the HVAC, it's not doing much. A new exhaust fan. But see, this is the thing, tenant improvement. A new exhaust fan on something that's already there. So, or it's not new. This is a new bathroom, so it's going to be new. But I don't know. I haven't really looked at the plans in detail, but was there already a fan there that we just replaced? Or is this a brand new fan and a brand new ceiling and roof with a brand new hole in it? Those are the things we need to know. If it's a brand new roof with a hole in it, guess what we'll have? Structural plans, because roof framing is a structural scope of work. And so we need to know, or to be a little piece of structural. So do we have structural? No, we don't. So we probably, I'm thinking about another project. We probably are just replacing it, but we'll know when we look in detail in the plans. Members, you'll know. All right, so we're going to do all the MEPs, HVAC, plumbing. Let's see what the plumbing is, because I thought we had like one. Yeah, see, it's only that bathroom, so that's going to be easy. But for plumbing, with the tenant improvement, yeah, what are you forgetting? Well, the rough in, the tie to the existing, right? What are we doing there? Because I know we have to, this is probably, yeah, see, here's existing, and then we have to tie new into existing. So, oh, that's, that's nice and everything, but existing, is it already running through the building and just capped off, and then it just so happens to be in the position we need for our new bathroom? Or is it way back here, right? I don't know. We got to see what force says. Members, you'll be able to see what all of this is, because if it's already existing, which this assumes existing, so we just have it running through the building. If this is a new bathroom, or maybe it was running to the sink, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But if it was not, then it was somewhere here, and we had to actually run it all the way to there. So we're talking about underground excavation for the trench for that. We got to come up through the floor on both. You got to come up through the floor in the new bathroom. All of those things are things you need to think about when we are doing any kind of tenant improvement. Because if it's from the ground up, we don't have walls, right? We don't have a concrete foundation yet. And so access is there. But in this case, everything's already there. So if that line just so happens to be running under that office building for absolutely no reason, because unless that sink was already there, then there would be no reason for just a fresh water line. Or maybe it was. I don't know. But if it wasn't, that's a whole different cost to do the two different things. If it's already running, we just stubbing it up, bam, to the bathroom. If it's not already running, we have to make the disconnect here, or make the connection from existing to the new line, run the new line, stub up, uh, rough in, rough in, rough in, unit, finish, whatever, whatever. But again, it'll be in detail when I go over each one of these estimates individually. Now, if this is something you're interested in, I will always begin with the MEPs, the hardest ones. If there's another trade you're interested in, make sure you let me know and I will include that. But if you are a member, you should always tell me what your trade is and what you're most interested in, and I'll send you an email or text or something asking you just those things. Now, if you are a member not for construction, but for the Black History portion, please let me know, because you'll get access to the paid programming on Black Truth TV. All right. So this is Stacy, the Construction Queen, on YouTube and on Black Truth TV. Make sure to join, like, subscribe, join the membership, and tell me what you are most interested in learning. See you soon.